What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Man, if you're listening to this episode of the Dose of the Ghost podcast, it's a continuation of the Dante Bowe podcast, the first one. It was so good, we had to make it into two, man.
Part two.
Part two, yo. So enjoy this and let us know what you think. Check it out.
Gang, gang.
I'm going to tell you something tonight. God's going to set you free. Dose of the Ghost. My friend, this is what I'm talking about. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. If God be for me, who can be against me?
Can I say something real quick, B?
Say something, Jay. Spit it.
Based off of what you were saying, my heart is for people that deal with depression, stuff
Right.
like that, because that's something I fought with, still kind of fight with, but I'm going
Right.
to overcome that thing 100,000%. So when my dad passed away, I gave up being a worship leader right before I came to New Beginnings.
Right, I remember.
I was done with that thing, and one day I just picked up a guitar again. I'm just like, I'm gonna try, and I start playing, and then the fireplace ignited, and I didn't realize it. I just noticed that it did. Stop playing. It went out. Wife came over, cooked. I said, I'm gonna play my guitar, start worshiping again, and I'm playing 5 minutes. She looks at me and said, hey, before we leave, let's put out the fireplace. And I'm like, wait, stop. She's like, the fireplace keeps igniting every time I start worshiping. And I didn't realize that until 2 years later. Or no, not even that. What it really meant 2 years later was that if you stop worshiping now, the fire stops from igniting in yourself, but also in places and people that you don't realize.
Yeah.
And in that, I end up finding the church, and the ministry that I got attached to was called Ignite. I'm like, oh, snap. As soon as I walked in the room, there was a big fire on the wall. And I'm like, oh, snap. I'm getting chill bumps now. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And now, even when I'm worshiping and stuff like that, and tell people my story, people come to me after service and like, hey man, your story about your dad. I just lost my mom. And these people are like 50, 40, they're like, I just lost them. And your story's encouraging to see that even when you were going to give up, that you're still going. And like, I 100,000% believe that losing my dad, like he had a heart attack. I had to try to resuscitate him. It was crazy. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
And losing him has brought me closer to God. I know that seems crazy to even be, to me it's crazy to be even able to say that right now. But that brought me so much closer to God, because God was like, I know your dad was your biggest supporter, and I know he's not here, and that has a purpose.
Right.
But will you still worship me the same way as if he's still in that front row?
Yep.
And I still do, because I'll be tired after church.
Yeah, you do give it. You do give it everything you got, and you do too, man.
You got me beat, brother.
That's what I was gonna say, man, about that dancing thing when you brought it up, man. That's a thing I developed over time. Like I used to be even more crazier, but like I feel like now I'm at a place where I'm like, I appreciate being above ground. I also appreciate my family, even in sickness, even in heartache, even in brokenness. Like we're all alive, and that we can breathe, and that means we can start over. That means we can continue to thrive. That means if there's breath still in our lungs, there's still hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, dude, like that's when I dance, I'm doing that very just deliberately. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just as a almost like I don't want to say this, but just like a smack in the face to the enemy.
Yeah.
Just like, look at me. Like, I'm dancing on the grave. I'm dancing on sickness.
100%.
I'm dancing on depression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I go crazy.
Yeah.
It's on the offense.
And we're not at home rehearsing
on the offense,
dance moves. I promise you, I don't think of all the moves that I'm going to do on Sundays. Like, I'm waiting with the shoulder wop, and then I'm going to do a 360 spin off my brain.
Yeah, man. It's not a crowd hyper, man. It's just it's legit, and it's helped me get through just a bunch of stuff, dancing through the valley of shadow, just the valley of those shadows, man.
Yeah, bro.
Of death.
You talk about family. You mentioned the family. When it comes to worship family, people apart from your own, blood, but how important is that to you now that because you're with Bethel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that something that you wanted when you were looking at different people to be involved with? Are you looking for a family? Are you looking for people with the same heart? How important is that to share?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's super important. I don't know if I was looking for it. I don't know if I knew how much of a necessity it was, but it's super important. But I feel like community is everything. Support is everything. And even if things are going well, to have someone there just cheering and like wishing you all the best and like smiling and like super, I don't know, you just feel like they're present with you. It means the world to me personally. So community is everything. Also in those weak moments, man. In moments that you don't even have, strength to read the Bible or like strength to pray or worship. They're still in that mode. So like they come over like these conversations
Accountability, man.
And it's just like they're talking to you about the Lord and it just ignites that thing back up in you, man. Community is everything. Phone calls, FaceTimes, like all that stuff I'm terrible at.
Yeah.
But man, like I understand how important it is. Like it's like changed my life. Like having like friends that are like not easily wavered, like the people that are just there for you. You know what I mean? And family too. But
That's good, bro.
Yeah, man.
I remember when I was back in Portland, speaking of people that I, going back to the topic of just feeling the presence of God off of people, in Portland, Oregon, this is probably like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, they were having, I don't know if you know who Louis Palau is.
I heard of that person.
Louis Palau. He used to throw like massive events, like soul winning events,
Like
festivals. Yeah, and they do it on the is it on riverfront or water?
Yeah, on waterfront.
Waterfront, riverfront, whatever that is. And it was thousands and thousands of people. Well, my mother and father-in-law being like, famous pastors or whatever, they had like free passes, or they had one free pass. And it was like this camouflage lanyard that was like Astro Bright and it had like Louis Palau 2000 something. And it was a backstage pass. So everybody that was there is like DC Talk, audio adrenaline. This is like people that were popping back in the day. Skiller. And I remember I was like, man, and Luke and I had a drummer at the time. His name was Ben. Shout out to Ben Coffin. Ben, sorry we had to fire you. Playing the drums. He was our drummer, but we had to let him go. But we love Ben. He was a good drummer. He's just we were young and stupid, so that's how it was. And anyway, I was like, Ben, man, go with me. So I was a graphic designer at the time at the church.
Yeah.
And so I photocopied Josh this like lanyard, and I like photoshopped it, and I printed it, I laminated it. I had like a lanyard. It looked exactly the same, except for I couldn't make it look Astro Bright like neon. It was like forest green instead of
It was olive green.
And so I'm like, let's just do this, man. Let's get in line. So we're in the backstage pass, and it's like full spread. People are eating back there, all the stars are back there. And I go back there, and they let us through, bro. They let us through. So I'm back there just like, like I'm somebody, this and that. I'm talking to everybody. I'm on the stage, like side stage, looking at like all the thousands of people. But I remember I left there and I went out into the audience, and I remember Louis Palau was walking through the crowd, and he was just like saying hi to people. And I walked up around him, and I felt like the presence of God. I was like, whoa. Like, man, there's something that this dude is doing. And when it comes to the Holy Spirit, one thing that my father always taught me is the Holy Spirit is to give you power to be a witness, to be a witnesses to the ends of the earth. And I think that as much as I love the Holy Spirit and the worship culture has become like synonymous almost. It's like it's together. And I think what I want to start to do is bring back, what is the purpose of the Holy Spirit? Jesus says you'll receive power and you'll be my witness, know?
Right.
And I think that what I like about Dante is his ability to, like I said, you bring like a challenging gospel, bro. You bring a challenge. It's not just getting up there and singing a bunch of songs, but you're challenging it to where the believer can look at it and the non-believer that just shows up, and they're going to be like, yeah, man, this guy's really believing what he's singing, And it's even in songs like, I hear it in some of your songs like "You're My Champion," this and that. But one of my favorite songs that I think, I don't know if I'm spilling the beans right now or if it's out or not, but it's the one that you wrote, the Father song. Which one is that? I'm just, do I need to edit this?
What Father song?
The
Oh, Dearest Father, most beautiful. He played the crickets.
Yeah.
Most beautiful. Yeah.
Seagulls.
That was an accident. Yeah.
That was an accident.
That was an accident.
Okay. I believe the church needs more songs about the Father. And that song, you said you were at a rehearsal and you were just like writing and then nothing came and then that came like as you were leaving or something like that?
Yeah, like we were in a writing session. No, we had written an entire album for this particular worship team and it's a great session. And just hanging around, just started playing that ba, 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 just on the piano, just while you're waiting. Ba, ba, ba. Then you sing whatever you feel and just... Dearest Father, closest friend, most beautiful. And that just kind of came. And they were just like, oh, yeah, why don't we just write this too? And it's crazy, man. I had never even called the Lord like closest friend until that moment. However, totally forgot about it. The song came out. It's like doing really well now. This whole Cal situation come up. Callie, one of our worship leaders, came up. And this whole situation came up and I was on the piano again. This is like 2 weeks ago. Just worshiping for Olive and believing God for her resurrection. And I remember I was asking the Lord for a favor. I'm like, Lord, just do me a favor. And I was just singing that. And I was just like, you're my closest friend. You know me. You know everything about me. You got all the connections, all the strings you can pull. Like, just do me a favor and resurrect her. And then I remembered I called him closest friend in that song. But it's crazy how in that moment, you're kind of just spitting out what's in your well.
Right.
But it was an accident, complete accident. And it's probably one of my best, it's doing better than any song I've ever written.
Oh, I love it. You said it had a little bit of a Disney flavor.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't. When you hear it, when you sing it, I didn't get that. But when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of Disney.
Yeah, it depends if someone else sang it.
Hey,
probably.
man, let them get that check. Yeah, it's Disney, bro. Disney Plus is what it is.
No, we need a Disney Plus check. But yeah, man, we did that song. That bridge is like there are no words, there's nothing left. Our love sings to you. Oh.
Yeah.
That part right there.
There are no words, there's nothing left. Our love sings to you. Oh. It's like, yeah, that song is like
good,
one of my
man.
favorites, man.
That's good. Just going to some real lighthearted talk. Is there anything that you've ever done just like you're like up on stage like, I can't believe I did that, or something so stupid? I have so many. I know Josh has more than me.
I can name 3 of yours right now, baby. Come on and worship somebody. I was like, anybody? Anybody I want.
Worship somebody.
Well, like, somebody. Like,
Josh,
come on and worship.
Luke and I make fun
somebody.
of Josh because Josh is like, sometimes when he gets going a little too much, it's like there's a pit bull off the leash. Like, whose dog is that?
What time clock, baby?
Oh, no.
Yeah, like, how are we going to turn this around? But he will stomp on the ground so hard, and thank God that our platform is not solid concrete, because you would have blown out both your ACLs.
By now.
Would have been done. But Josh, I know there's got to be something just
That I was done. What about the time where the BPM was wrong and I said, "Come on, follow me"? It was what song was that? And if our God is for us, but somebody forgot to change the BPM back to the slower one, and it was like, "And if our God is for us, then you can never stop us." And I just kept singing it.
You did. You just owned it.
I was like, "Come on, follow me." Nobody followed me.
I get so
And
mad
Brandon was
when
like,
those
"Let's
moments,
start over." And I was like, luckily it was a Wednesday.
Like,
Dude, but I saw with you in Taiwan, your MD, you got some hand signals. You look like Atlanta Braves on the side. You got these secret sideline hand motions.
Mean to Taiwan. I'm so mean to Taiwan. I mean, like, he's like, you were looking at me, and then I was looking at the drummer, and but I'm so mean to him. I have a bunch of hand signals, and I get into like a serious moment, and then say something happens, man, and I'm just like, I'll look back. Like, I'm not the person that's like tries to brush it over and be like, come on, let's just worship. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? Let's do this again. Like, I'm so upset about it.
What I was saying at one time, Maywaker? What was I saying? Mayweather.
No, you did not. No, you did not.
I kept saying, somebody told me, it was like, man, you sung that song beautifully, but at the end, you started saying Maywaker.
I was like, no,
Mayweather, throwing them bows. Knock you out in the darkness.
Yeah, but I've had a few bloopers, man, that have happened.
I'll tell you what's annoying is well, I shouldn't even. This sounds like I'm such an idiot right now. I'm just like pouring heat out on those lyric guys. I just, you know, what's annoying is when they can't give me the right lyrics.
Can we get a 72-inch back there?
No, but like they'll hit the wrong lyric, and I'm good with lyrics. Like I don't need to see them most of the time. My retention is good with lyrics.
Not me, baby. Whatever you put, I'm reading it. And three little bears, it's whatever's up there. Doesn't even matter. Hey, it's what they got.
Dude, I don't know what it is. It's like repetition, memorizing lyrics, melodies. I can 1 or 2 times. Same. I got it. Other things like my keys, you know, this and that. Yeah.
Anniversaries,
not so much. Yeah, Josh, you are.
I need them lyrics, baby.
You need them lyrics, and I'm.
What you got? Talk to me. No, give it to me.
I've carried you a few times.
Brandon has definitely helped me out. Because here's my thing: if I can remember the first 3 words, I'm good. I can never remember the first 3 words.
Yeah.
I be talking like right before it'll be like 15 seconds on the clock. I'm like, the first song is you are we. What is it? All right, we're gonna figure it out. Hopefully, they put it up ahead of time.
My guys will play jokes on me sometimes, like just too much though, because I'm like, dude, we're running a full production. I got to go to staff meeting after this, and like, you know, spill the beans. Why when I came out on a 10-second countdown, my mic was all the way down to my knees.
All the way down.
Like they'll set me up and put it down. So I'm like, let's get ready. And I have to sit there and put it up, and I'm looking at them. They're all shrugging their shoulders, like, we don't know, man.
I told them one time we need to all just be. I know Luke is gonna look at me. Everybody just in something else. Like, give me a guitar. Someone else is on there. We'll do it in the 3-minute mark, but just let it be. Somebody else is in a different spot. You look up. I'm the MD. It's like, there we go,
dude. Okay, you don't know this, Dante, but last 2 Sundays ago, I think it was. We did like a miracle service, and everything that's been going on with Lion, everything else in our family, my father-in-law just kind of like what we're talking about, leading the way. He's like, we're going to pray for people, you know, when in all actuality, we should be like, you know, resting or not, you know, taking going to the bench for a little bit and resting, letting somebody else take it. But no, he steps up, and it was the first service was at 9:30, and Luke was preaching the second service at 11:30. And, so we started the miracle service. He got up and we did a set for like 20 minutes. He got up and talked for probably 5-10 minutes. We got back out on the stage, and he started to pray for people. We prayed and we sang nonstop for over 4 hours.
4 hours of power.
Old school.
Yeah. And all fast songs too.
Yeah, and he prayed.
All fast songs?
All fast songs.
Why?
Well, I guess no. It was okay. Well, positive songs, no draggers.
There wasn't
like sad worship.
Yeah,
exactly. No, there was all like
snowy worship, sad night of worship.
Yeah.
No snowy worship.
Right. But his dad is how old's your dad? 69. 69. And he prayed for every single person.
Yeah.
Now I'm not talking like Shondo, you know, like go down the line and just no. I'm talking. What's your name? Hear your story, pray. That's why it took so long. And so they're just coming down and down and down, and we're going through song after song. And so come around to like Luke's time to preach. Luke he ain't preaching.
No.
No, we just went through it, and it was awesome, dude. And everything was flowing. And at the end, you know, or like towards the middle of it, Luke's like, he thinks the same people are going around in the same line. Yeah. What did you say?
Oh, I said, I think some of these people got a season pass.
They had a fast pass.
Yeah, fast pass. They're just getting back in line.
I'm going to do this one again.
They just got a fast pass. But it's those things of and we did not plan that, but we just, we pushed, man. I don't know what brought that up, but we kept pushing, and we just kept flowing from song to song to song. I mean,
all day.
Oh man,
I was Googling. I was like, do this one.
Yeah.
1981, it says. I don't even know it, but
shout to the Lord.
Yeah, shout to the Lord.
Oh my God. Yeah, speaking of, in your set the other night, you took it back.
Every single set now. I do what's that song? We fall down, we lay our crown.
Well, that was it.
Every single time. I do shout to the Lord a lot now. I don't know. It's just like not just nostalgic, but it
Better
just
is
feels.
one day.
That one took me there. See, I missed all of that. I didn't start listening to contemporary worship music until 2011.
So
I
you
missed
only know
everything.
like the modern.
That's all I knew.
Style.
So when I go back, like I'll throw them in the set, and they're like, "Nah, man, we're not gonna sing that old song." I'm like, "Look, this is new to me."
Man, it reminds people of their first encounters. It reminds them where they were, what they felt, and it is a sure way to ignite something fresh with just something old to ignite something new.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna admit to something. I remember like my senior year, I probably still had a mullet at the time. Maybe I didn't have that party in the back. This is in the front. But I remember I had a Datsun pickup and I would drive to school and I was so into the Lord. And this is why you'd think I'd be listening to like, I don't know, by the looks of me, CCM, I don't know, country music or something. 'Cause I love country, evidently. I'm on text here. No, but I would listen to my favorite group and my favorite male gospel voice to this day. Oh, yeah. Marvin Winans.
Oh yeah, of course.
So when I listen to the Winans, you picture this, Brush Prairie, Washington, in a Datsun yellow like 70s pickup, listening to Marvin Winans. I'm just this white skinny kid in there. But there was a song that he used to sing that, man, I'm gonna feel so stupid doing this, but it's that wherever I go, let your spirit.
Yeah.
I wanted to follow.
Yeah.
I won't be afraid. He's always going there. I listened to that.
That was great though.
Dude, I would be weeping.
That was awesome.
But if somebody wants to sing that, Bethel, if you could cover that, Bethel. No. But yeah, you're right, man. Singing songs that take you back to that place.
Oh, yeah.
But you do it tastefully.
Tastefully, yeah.
Tastefully,
and with a
bro.
new vibe to it. You know what I mean? But I've witnessed like just the grandmothers in the front, just like.
Oh, dude, they
crying.
were there the other night. They were slain, bro.
You can pull out like a hymn, like if you pull out like Amazing Grace, dude.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's my favorite song.
It does something to the young and to the old. It's weird.
Oh yeah.
I did Trading My Sorrows. It didn't pop like I thought it was going. I was like, "No, we're gonna flip it." Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. It didn't pop.
It didn't do good.
I put it back. We're not singing that one.
No, dude, you got to go further back than
I
that.
ain't singing that. Let's see here, bro. When it comes to what you're doing right now and where you want to go with your career, because you've from the outside in, it's like boom, you've elevated right here, and you're just kind of catching this momentum. It's just taken off, right? Mm-hmm. And what are you wanting to do? Tell people where you're at right now with your music. What's the music that's going to come out, and what you're wanting to do moving forward.
Yeah. So I mean, where I am right now is I've released maybe four songs last year between Bethel and Maverick City. No personal singles. This year, 2020, my album is coming out. That's all I can say. My album is coming out. I've been working really, really hard. I've been working for like a year and a half on it. And they're all real songs from a real place. No, like, no session. Like there wasn't a session that we were like, oh, let's get a hit. It was like every session was a conversation and something like that actually happened in my life or in a friend's life. So that's coming out this year. And where I want to go, I mean, I honestly don't know. I just know that music is going to always be there, but I think I want to do something like in fashion,
I'll be your model.
Yeah, dude. Hey.
I mean, I'm doing some push-ups.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not at Luke's status yet. Luke's got like a full fighting gym.
We need normal people. We're gonna do a clothing line for normal people.
I go up to Luke's house. And he's got like a full gym. He's got like that
little
wooden bar that has all these
fake. Yeah. The thing
he's sparring with Jen, full strike.
No, come at me. Just hold the knife up. Bro, what's funny? I actually was listening to you before I realized who you were.
Oh, really?
It was a song, God, you take broken things
and make them Potter
beautiful.
And Friend.
Bro, I didn't know that was you until I went back and I was like,
that was him?
Yeah, that song I was singing.
The one you're always singing?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was him until like months ago.
That was when I was, I was trying.
Fade there.
I didn't have anything, bro. I didn't have
that
a fade
song
or
hit.
But yeah, bro. Like I'm trying to get into not trying to get into fashion. I feel like I am into it and sneakers. So like I don't know if I want to like own a sneaker store. Probably for sure.
That's
but
cool,
like
yeah.
maybe work for Nike or something cool like that, or Adidas or something like
We
that.
had
Tex
was on. He's will be on the podcast before this one comes out, but he goes to our church. He's about I don't know 40 something. I mean, stylish from head to toe. Like he'd be wearing like stuff that looks like he's gonna go to Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's wearing, but he is a graffiti artist, and he kind of established a lot of the graffiti culture here in Dallas from the roots up. Like he was like gang this and that, and they were part of his crew. What was his Infinity Crew or something like that?
Yeah, I believe so. It was the first one.
Yeah, and super cool conversation, but just an entrepreneur, and him and his brother. But he started a brand called
Yums.
Yums.
Real hot when Soulja Boy was popular, the smiley face. And
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's his
Tex.
brand.
And so he did that, and he's actually going to be making sneakers.
bringing the shoes back.
Bringing the
He's
shoes
doing
back.
A different mode this time. It's going to be something new.
But he designed the Mavericks new uniform, the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he's doing that, and he's a mover and a shaker, another humble guy. Very quiet. You never know. When he came on the podcast, I'm like, Jay, is he going to talk?
Right.
Is he going to say anything?
He was dropping nuggets.
He was dropping nuggets, and he was talking, man.
Nice.
Listen to that one. But
I thought I'd be boring too, to be honest.
no,
it was fun.
you consider yourself a bit of an introvert, don't you?
I am an introvert,
Are you sure?
100%.
Prove it.
Which one is that one? Is that the one where they don't do? Okay.
But the thing is, I don't know. I'm the introvert, but I love people, and I love to share. So it comes across as like, oh, he's pretty outgoing, but it's really just I just personally love to share my thoughts, and I love people.
Yeah.
But I'm 100% an introvert. Like I can just go be alone right now for like the rest of the night and chill, or I could be around people. I'm just not going to be the center of attention or the guy in the middle of the room making all
That's
the jokes.
cool. Yeah, you make it easy to talk
Same
to.
here, man. I'm a
It's
straight
laid back.
intro, bro. Like, I don't
Bro,
even
you
know.
are not.
Oh my god, dude!
You are the guy. Like I have my friends are like you. I need that around.
Just
me.
like, just
yeah,
playing-
like
I play all day.
They help you out. Man.
Oh, dude, yes.
I play all day.
Josh,
My
I
wife
can-
is an OG to handle.
I
me.
love that, man.
I can always count on Josh. Like literally the other day, I tried to play from one song to the other with acoustic guitar, and my guitar was so out of key. I said, "Josh, say something," because I know he's just gonna say something.
Yeah. I saw that. That
And
was
he's like-
that was awesome.
Rock paper scissors. You know.
Yeah,
What about airplane
I'm-
food? He just get him up. He has a stand-up piece, and he's not shy about it. But you were saying about fashion. You got your music, and you said that all your songs come from a place that you actually lived your heart.
Oh
right?
yeah, I want a number one. I need a number one before like I'm done with music.
You need it. You need a number one. That's one of your goals.
number one album.
Some accolades, something to say.
Maybe this album would be the number one album.
Yeah. So let me ask you a real question then, because I would like to be have some of that, just to be affirmed. How important is it for you to feel? What affirms you?
What affirms me?
Gosh, I'm a great host to that question.
when the-
Isn't that just beautiful?
I was going to say it.
I guess to be more the people for the people close to me to like what I do
Yeah.
really affirms
People
me.
close to you, people you
Oh.
respect,
No,
just people close.
just
to you.
like my mom. Like I play my album for my parents, like during Christmas, and my dad, he doesn't. He loves it, but he doesn't like respond.
Right.
But my mom is just like, oh, it's so good. Or, everything is awesome. And it makes me feel like, I'm going to put this out for sure. I don't know why, but it's
Sense
like
of pride.
my mom likes. And then
Yeah.
we played it with Luke, and we played it for Katie, and like, everybody. And then we're just sitting in the studio, and they're like crying and like
Not me, dude.
gassing me. I started
Luke
out
crying?
Yeah,
crazy?
Yeah, like Luke was crying. No, but like I started out with like
on video.
I'm like I'm gonna just play 2 songs and then move on. But then after they cry out, on both of those, I'm like, oh, let's just hear this one. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you should
I'm
hear
gonna
this
really
one.
hit you with this.
And I'm just like super. I feel so good, about it. And but that really, really affirms me. And also the award thing, man. I'm not like super hung up on that. I just feel like I like decor. So I want like a few Dove Awards and a number one plaque. I like the way it looks. Has nothing to do with my heart though. I just think like a platinum record would look nice on the wall.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
We have guests over, you know,
There
inspire
ain't nothing
people.
wrong with that. Yeah.
That's funny. Mine was the
May it
opposite.
be.
My mom would listen, but my dad, he would fight me if I didn't get him a CD so he can listen to it in his truck before I put it out. So we would be at a family reunion. He'd be just walking, puts the CD in for everybody to hear. I'm like, Dad, I'm trying to do the promotion thing
so proud.
people and it got to a point where my mom was like, just get that man a CD so he can just listen. So now it got to a point where it was like, all right, Dad, you got the CD? He's like, yeah. I'm like, go ahead and put it in. It's time. And he was like, all right. So that's what it was.
Let me ask you this, dude. How important is it to you? This is something that I found out for myself. How important is it to you to be able to say you have a new song or you're thinking of songs that you want to put on a record, knowing that you want to perform them or you're thinking of them not only in the studio application, but now how's this going to translate live and how am I going to be able to pour my soul and minister with this song? Do you think about that when you're picking songs, writing songs, or is it just, this is popping, I'm feeling this, or do you put yourself in that position? Because I felt like with me, there's some songs that like I have a song called Broken Hallelujah, right? And I sing it, I love the song, but sometimes when I'm performing
That sounds
it,
cool.
yeah,
That title is nice.
Thanks, man. Sometimes when I'm singing it, I'm like, man, I need another song to get what I want out. You know what I'm saying? Because this one's not quite getting there. So when I go back to the drawing board, I'm like, what can satisfy the sellability of a song or the popularity of a song, but what also can meet my just wanting to get what I feel the Lord wants to do in me. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Like I personally don't think through anything. I just kind of write.
I'm at a different level.
No, no, I just write and then I'll listen through and I'm like, oh, that's a radio song. Oh, that's a live Bethel's record. Like I can do that at church. But I kind of write a bunch of songs first and then I say, like I have a song called Na Na Ayo that I don't think like I can just go to a church and just bust that out and then like people are like slain in the spirit. But like, I'm like, okay, well that's more like an artist type of vibe. But I'm like, okay, this song sounds a little like borderline like worshipy. So I'm gonna like put the production to it to make it feel more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's like an afterthought. It's never really the initial thing. Like,
Got you.
I just write.
That's cool.
Just write whatever's in you, because you never know what you're missing out on by like brainstorming. Don't I am like, that's an enemy of art. Like, don't ever brainstorm. Just like get in there and just start saying stuff.
Do you mess with like other genres like pop and hip hop? Do you mess with any of that?
All of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you write? Are you a musician? Do you play anything?
I play keys. Yeah.
So you're writing from the piano.
Yeah, from the piano and just say stuff, bro. Like, and then see what happens.
Do you ever would you say more of your songs come from just dropping out of thin air without without instrument? Or
Yeah.
is it, you
Yeah.
get melodies popping in your head?
All the time in the car. Like my voice memos are like, I have 2 phones and the other one I use for like voice memo, and it's just like full of song ideas. I'll be in the car like, na, 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 na. I wrote a song last minute for my album, and it's like, when my enemies, even my foes, came to triumph over me, they had to bow before the king. That entire phrase came to me in my living room. So you can just stop me and he's like, oh, record it really quick and start figuring out other stuff to put with it. But just say anything out of your, like, if you feel it, just say it, bro.
Do you ever get songs that come to you in your dreams while you're sleeping?
Yeah.
Isn't that a trip?
Yeah, bro. But then sometimes, like, I don't know for you, but sometimes I just.
You don't put a lot of weight on it.
I want to sleep. And then, like, I forget it.
Okay.
But I wake up and I'm like,
okay,
I was singing a killer
I don't
song.
do that. So I've learned, like, I'll get up sometimes once, it doesn't happen all the time, but once in a while, like, I'll literally have a melody.
Yeah.
And because I've done that, where I go, dang, what was that? But I'll get up and I'll hit record, and then later on I'll go back and listen to it. And it's always like,
Bro, those songs are
six of
lost
those
in the
yesterday.
universe.
6 of those
No,
yesterday.
Luke, you woke up though and remembered. You came to my hotel and you're like, oh, I had like a song come to me in my sleep.
And that's right.
And we
then-
wrote it.
Yes. And then And then like a month ago, I probably sent you like a crazy voicemail. At like 5 a.m. I'm like, I just woke up and I got this song.
Milk, mama. I love milk. It's just like, but dude, fix it up.
It's the worst, man. I've had a dream like I was in front of a bunch of people and it was a fire chorus, man, and woke up and didn't remember it. I mean, it was a legit thing, man. I'm like, wow.
I have those in the car driving. I'm like, I'm gonna remember it. Like,
don't ever. If you're in the car, bro, come on.
Just
Yeah.
When I realized, and this might be a little bit more practical, but when I realized how much money, like financial, like just how wealthy you can be just by divine inspiration from Jesus, like, man, I started like taking it more serious. Like I used to like, songs are like, ugh, it's just a song. Like, it's so shallow. I mean, to the common, mind, it's just like, oh, it's just a song. It's not like you're a lawyer, doctor.
Yeah.
Even though you make that much, you know what I mean? It just seems like, oh, it's not that serious of a job.
Right.
Like, you're not saving a life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I started to realize, like, hanging around other legitimate songwriters that were actually killing it. And like, just, I mean, people that love the Lord, just hanging around them. I'm like, you aren't a doctor. I mean, to some degree, like not just when they pay, but like, in what we deliver.
It's a craft.
Yeah, I look at it as like I have those a lot. I really did have we had a song that we were going to do and that was the one that we'd settled on. And then I dreamed this song 2 days ago.
What?
Yeah. So we were up till, I don't know, we were both up really late the night before. And then I woke up with the dream at like 6 or whatever. And it's just there. Anytime that happens, I'll get out of bed and I'll record it. And that morning, no joke, I went back to bed and then I'm like, it's gonna be good, but something else comes. Make myself get up. And six or seven times I went back to bed and then got back up again and recorded another idea because I feel like there comes a point where you have to make a conscious choice to honor that and respect that because that could change. Not everybody's dreaming songs, or even if you're not dreaming them, just getting them while you're driving or whatever. So I think that, I would never want that flow to stop. And for me, the thing that I can do is to respect it. And if it comes, get out of bed as many times as you have to and just record that idea because, it's a respect. Because like, where's that coming from? It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from God.
Music is so spiritual. Let me tell you something real quick.
100%.
This is like maybe almost a year ago, so 9 months ago. I was driving to church and it had just rained and I was thinking of my mom. And both my mom and dad are since passed away. And my mom passed away in 2017. And I wrote a song for her on my first record that I went all out on. And it was the very last track. It was just an instrumental. And I called it Passage. And it's just like a ton of overdubs of guitars and this huge swell that just sort of sounds... For me, it was like I was envisioning like a conduit. Like you're going into heaven, you're passing through. It's a lot of just... vocal stuff layer going on. And it meant something to me. It probably just meant like a trippy thing for other people to listen to at the end as an outro. But I was listening to that and I pulled off to our church off the off-ramp. And, I wasn't listening to you. I was just listening to nothing. And you know how like Apple Music will do that crazy thing. I don't know if it does it with you, but it'll just randomly play a song in your car.
Yeah, it's like that first song on your playlist.
And you can't stop it. Right.
Yeah.
But this song was in my library.
Oh, wow.
So I was thinking of my mom. I was just kind of like have a little bit of heavy heart that day. And I pulled off and I kid you not, that song comes on. I look over our church building and there's a massive rainbow over the church. And it was like it moved me. I was like, what in the heck? Like randomness. Randomness. Music is more spiritual and powerful than we think.
For sure.
We can go into such deep stuff right now. I know, Luke, you could go.
Do it. Let's get weird.
It's
Guys,
okay.
Who wants to get weird?
The song I told you that I played for you when that other guy was here. We were the last three after your practice that we did here with everyone in the house.
Yeah.
The It's Okay song I tell you my dad gave me in the dream. It was just him saying, I'm okay. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
Right.
And that's how I got a song that I have yet to put out.
I love that
yet.
song.
But
I was thinking of another dream. My dad, if you knew my dad, he was like just a street preacher and just loved people and loved reaching. He was an old heroin addict and came out of prison long before I ever came along. But I remember he'd have the attitude like, if later for it, let's get out of here, one of those type of guys. And I had a dream that I was preaching in like a big church, and I was like preaching in my heart out, and I look up and kind of like, like in those big conventions where people preach, people sit behind the stage, and it's all packed. And I see my dad way up in the corner. And then I look back down and I'm like, oh, Dad's watching. And then I'm like, what should I preach on? And I look up and then he's asleep. He's passed out.
Oh, no way. That's funny.
Like he was bored.
His dad would sleep.
Yeah, like he was just nodded out in church like, man, what are you,
That's
bored.
your dad telling you a joke from heaven.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
That is funny.
But at my dad, I saw Travis Greene, and I think it was Israel, Houghton, maybe Travis Greene, somebody recently, they were covering the song "To God Be the Glory." You know that song, "To God Be the Glory"?
Yeah.
How can I say thanks for the thing? To God be the glory. Okay, so just a little rundown. My dad, when he came out of San Quentin prison in the, he came out like late 60s. He got saved out of Teen Challenge, this thing called Teen Challenge, Dave Wilkerson. And he ended up, the church that he went to was Andre Crouch's, do you know Andre Crouch? Andre Crouch's daddy's church.
I don't know.
So it was in LA, right?
Yeah.
And this is before Andre Crouch was a big deal. And my dad was just this set-free, radical ex-dope fiend that came out of San Quentin, and he was in the choir, Andre's first choir. And so my dad, he used to tell me that he would still struggle with addiction, and just the things like that, things that are going through his heart, although he was set free. But he would sit with Andre on the piano, and he would just say, Andre, just play. And he would just sit there as Andre would play, and my dad would just weep and cry and just get free. He'd just be set free, keep playing Andre. And so they had a friendship, and then my dad would go over to Andre's house, and Andre's dad kind of brought him in, let him be with him, live with him for a while, took care of him. And my dad later on would say, I never understood why that black man would love a white man like me and bring me in like his own son. And so there was a relationship there that later on, my father, years had passed, and before that, as he was still at Andre's church, my dad came to Andre and said, Andre, I had a dream. That you were playing overseas on a white grand piano, and you were writing a song, and it's going to come out of this scripture. I don't remember what it was, Philippians or something like that. And so fast forward years later, my dad is out preaching, and I think in Arizona or something like that, and in a little VW Volkswagen Bug, and gets hit by a drunk driver, and he finds himself in the hospital with cables hooked up to his chest because he had broken all of his ribs and his lungs were collapsed. And he almost lost his life. So Andre ends up calling my mom, who was with my dad at the time, and say, you tell him that I wrote that song that he's talking about. And he put the phone up to my dad's ear and sang that song, To God Be the Glory. So there's a story to that song. So later on, in 2013, when my dad passed away, I went to, at the funeral, I hosted the funeral. Andre came and sang at the church with Sandra Crouch and all that. And there was a lot of it was in, where was that at? It was, I can't remember the city in LA. Church let us use a building. And afterwards I said, you know what, Andre's here. And I had talked with him before. I remember I gave him a CD like years before of something that Luke and I did that we worked like 5 years on.
On one song.
And I remember giving him the song, and he looked at me, he's like, how many songs are on it? One. He says, and I remember he's like, that's like taking one shot. And he laughed and smirked. And I remembered that. And so years later,
it was a knockout though. So sometimes all it takes is one, you know.
But I remember I go at my dad's funeral. it's all done. I go up to Andre, and Andre's like, he was kind of going downhill at the time, but he's playing like
Health-wise.
Instead of like the piano, he's playing like the harpsichord. Guys are like, help him change the patch, man. But his voice was
but
like,
he didn't know.
No.
Trumpets.
And his sense of humor is like, yeah, you know, his sense of humor was still funny, and he's playing it, but boy, his voice was like butter, man. Still like, no, you know. Yeah. And afterwards, it was all done. I go up to him, and I'm talking to him as he's on his piano, and I'm seeing my dad's casket in the back, and I said, Andre, I said, I'm not my dad, and you know him. I'm not like him, you know. I'm different, and he's a fiery preacher, and I'm me. But I'm a musician. I sing and I write. I want to do something for God. I want to do that. And so I said, "Would you pray for me?" And I never asked people to pray for me, but he prayed for me, and I'll never forget it. He's like, "God, I thank you for Brandin. I asked you to give him songs like you gave me, Lord." I remember this, give him songs while he's resting and he's not even thinking, when he's lying down and he's resting, give him to me like in his dreams. And I never forgot that. And then he prayed over my health. He's like, God, I rebuke every sickness. Or he was speaking to me. He didn't even know what was about to transpire in my walk. Yeah. He read me, man. And I walked away remembering that sometimes when we're talking about writing music and how God will give it to you, but God, he knew, he understood what rest was. Like it was all on him. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he would get up there and just mess around, but when it came time, there was something that dude knew about.
Right.
When it came, you remember he used to tell us like he would look at flowers and have that
synesthesia.
Yeah. Remember he told us that back in the beginning? He's like, that flower right there is like, da, 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 da. That's where he was. Yeah. So I don't think that we don't need to, in the same way we were talking about earlier about challenging ourselves and moving forward. Yeah, dude, we can think about songs as spiritual. Let's push that limit.
Oh yeah,
you know, let's break the 4.5 minute mile. Let's break the. They just broke the 2-hour marathon, by the way.
What's that?
The guy from Nigeria broke 2-hour mark, so everybody couldn't run like 207, 204. Nobody thought it could be done. Nike put people, they called it the 159 Club or something, trying to get people to push, and some dude broke it.
Did a marathon in 2 hours?
Under 2 hours.
Under 2 hours? Holy moly.
That's like 4.5 minute pace for 26.2 miles.
That's insane.
Anyway, I'm making that point to say, like you said, Luke, when we think about this type of stuff, let's take it to another level. Yeah. So let's all be dream walkers. Yes. What's that one movie where they like stop their heart rate and they go back and they anyway.
Last movie I saw was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, this guy goes to Dragon Ball Z conferences and dresses up. No, yes, he does.
I don't dress up, but I go.
You do dress up, bro.
You don't have to dress up because you're already dressed like that.
I'm always dressed like an anime kid.
Oh my gosh. All right, dude.
No, I'm just kidding. That means nothing.
Those references, like, I don't get them, but my boys get them. They crack up, dude. You relevant, man.
So all my people listen that watch Dragon Ball Z, you're a Super Saiyan. There you go.
All right, Josh. Well, I think we're gonna call this we're gonna wrap this thing up. But bro, I hope that we can go to Six Flags again. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, and this is the second part of the podcast, go back to the first episode with Dante Bowe. You'll understand. And we need to break that curse, bro.
Ain't no curse.
Listen, we can do it, man. We can do it.
I'm gonna build my way up to it. Like 1 year,
no, we don't need to build it up.
The next year, I can do another ride.
It's like my dad taught me how to swim. I used to sit around with floaties and do the perimeter, head onto the side. And one day he just grabbed me. He said, 1 for the money, 2 for the show. Chucked me off the diving board.
Me and my dad would have fought.
What is it? What is it though? Like,
I just don't like height. I don't want to fall and then be dead. That's
Why?
it. That's what's wrong with that? Like,
okay.
I'm a big boy. I ain't scared of nothing.
Shout out to Little James.
Shout out to Little James, man. No, I just don't want to fall, man. I don't want to fall.
So like elevators and all that.
That's the thing.
Escalators.
Elevators I'm cool with. Elevators with glass, I'll take the stairs.
No,
I'll ride them, but I just don't like it.
Well, tell me what you said about the bridge in Lake Charles, though.
Yeah, there's a bridge in Lake Charles. It was voted the worst bridge in America. And I was like, I'm never going to go out of my city in Louisiana because that bridge is trash. I made it. I'm in Dallas, baby.
But you think that the odds are stacked in your favor though?
I'm usually scared until I actually do it. Most things, I hate being scared of stuff like that. That just like, I hate being scared of stuff. I used to be scared of ghosts when I was a kid.
So
I used to, in my prayers, here we go. I like putting myself out there because it makes
real testimony.
In my prayers, I would pray that I would say my prayers because I had a little thing that me and my little brother would always say our prayers together. Like you're not going to bed, so we say our prayers and say good night. I love you. I don't care how big we get.
I like it.
That's it. So we would say our prayers together out loud simultaneously, and then I give him his moment to say his individual prayer, and then I give my moment. But in mine, I was sneaking, and please don't let me see any ghosts in the middle of the night. I was like, it's okay. It's okay if I see angels, but if you want to hide them from me too, I don't want to be scared in the middle of the night. That's cool. You ever see that? You ever see that pile of clothes in the middle of the night? You like, that might be a person.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to be afraid of ghosts too.
Then you go back to sleep. No, I'm going to knock them clothes down.
Yeah. Dude, I used to just like put the covers over my head, dude. Close my eyes as tight as I can.
I need to fight. So what I did was I was just like, I turned off all the lights. I'm like, I'm going to stand in the darkness. And I stood in the darkness until I wasn't scared no more.
That's what you got to do with the roller coasters, baby.
I can stand in the darkness for a roller coaster.
He tried.
No, you need to get on a roller coaster.
He did though.
He got on the ship. That's not a roller coaster.
He got on the pirate ship that literally.
Oh, okay.
But
I did the 50-foot drop.
Let me go back. 50-foot drop.
50-foot drop.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 50-foot
At
drop
Disney World.
Okay, that wasn't when my presence. So
The only reason
But there was no breakthrough because then you couldn't get on the actual roller coaster.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there was no momentum, so your
breakthrough.
This is not.
Your theory is not
Y'all not
correct.
about to break me. Y'all not about to break me on this podcast.
There was
He's
a
sweating
dude
right now thinking about it.
There was a dude sipping.
Let's get it on. Just drink my water. I always drink my water like that.
Dude, there was a guy, a Hispanic brother, facing you on the other side of the pirate ship.
His son, though.
Well, his scalp was fully tatted. Like this guy was like the main.
His
thug
haircut
of DFW.
was a tattoo. Like this.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
And he had a little baby, and the baby was laughing at Josh.
laughed at me.
Yeah.
But the baby must have been a gang member as well. Because when the baby got off, he was like, and I was like, man, what do you say? You cussing at me, baby? Baby went ham on me. I felt bad after that.
We're
baby
gonna make
talking
this
good.
happen. All my Brazilian friends are gonna grab you. We're gonna shove you on, and we're just
Sorry
like
about that.
You know what you
Assault.
can do though? You can get him on one of those virtual like.
I can
roller
probably
coasters.
do that. We can do that
First, like just do something like that.
No, he
in
did
the
that
mall
already.
or something.
Dude, don't do that.
Didn't y'all do that? Didn't the church go do that? You guys went on the virtual reality at Dave
You're
and
talking about
Buster's?
take him to
It
Dave
feels,
and Buster's.
it feels pretty real. But at least you
start him
know.
off at Dave and Buster's.
Start
Listen,
him off
you
on
get
a-
like 5 tickets.
Start him off on a-
you can get a super bouncy ball at the end of it.
Let's start him off on a treadmill, and we'll see where that goes. Let him hold a cup of water on the treadmill. No, give him a cup of milk, strawberry milk on the treadmill.
Oh my gosh, dude! All right, well, we're gonna keep up to speed on this, bro. And if anybody is listening out there that has any tips, advice on how you overcame your fear of heights, overcame your fear of amusement park roller coaster rides, please DM us. You can check us out. Where can they check us out, Josh?
Man, you can check us out on all social media outlets, like Spotify, iTunes, all those things. Anything you can click music, you can click on us.
But as far as DMing us, we're on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram, Dose of the Ghost.
Dose of the Ghost. Dante Bowe, Instagram. Maybe, just
Dante Bowe.
Is there a button you can hit that can just take some of those followers and just put them in my bin?
Slide them over.
I bought all my followers.
Because mine's out of
51
control right now.
Bitcoins.
Yeah. How come all your comments are in Arabic?
Yeah, right.
It's all just graphic. Hey, man, want a graphic?
My check is red, actually.
Oh my gosh. Well, dude, it has been a pleasure having you on, man. I just want to say thanks. You made this podcast really special today.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget out there to share this, man.
Share
Spread
it.
the word. Dose of the
Share
Ghost
it.
podcast.
Share
We're all
it.
about the people. We're all about the Holy Spirit. We love Jesus. We love you. We want to see great things for you. And hit us up on Patreon
Patreon.
so we can hook up with some better gear.
You know what I'm saying? We trying to. Yeah,
And,
see, we need auto-tune for that. You guys got to pay for that.
You know what I'm saying? So we love you. Have a great new year, and we'll see you. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.
All right.